Wow, guys, unbelievable. This is so crazy. And I knew this was going to happen as we got closer to the elections, as the CNN polls have continued to sway toward Donald Trump's favor. This is a massive victory. In fact, lifelong Democrat Gloria Romero released an exciting announcement, and let's just say that Kamala Harris is not very happy about this, guys. And Donald Trump has decided to crash a frat party. MAGA supporters have gone wild. MAGA supporters have absolutely gone wild over this news. And what happens next after Donald Trump crashes this frat party? Nobody expected.
Great looking people. Thank you, everybody. Oh, look, my man is here. Come on, I gotta do it.
How you doing, President Trump? What do you think about this? All these students here.
This is some turnout.
Yeah.
I guess the youth likes Trump, but we love Iowa. We just left South Dakota last night. It was an amazing evening. We got a wonderful endorsement, as you know, from the governor, and we're here in this reception.
A lot of these students are talking about the cost of living, gas.
Yeah.
What Biden did with
Gasoline's going up.
Yep.
Gasoline's going up. Your heating's going up. Everything. We're going to bring it all the way down where I had it. We're going to do a little bit of grilling. I can tell you that right away. But no, gasoline's going way up. Way up. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. We'll let you walk around here. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
We'll see you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
How you doing, sir? Wow, that's good stuff.
You have one of these yet?
I have one. I will have one. Are you kidding?
Let's go, man.
Look at the grill team. Woo! I didn't know what they were talking about. This is grill team 6. That's beautiful. Grill team 6, man. How do you do with that? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Grill Team 6.
Yeah, we take it everywhere on campus. Oh, I see. Yeah, go ahead. Give it. I'll share it. Come on. Give me a one. I'll tell you what. Give me one of those.
Yo, let me get one of those. Well done, please.
What's the burger? There you go. What's the burger?
I'll flip it.
He's at home.
Yeah.
He's at home.
Oh, wow. They got Trump on the grill. What's going on with that?
That's great, huh? Thank you. Nice to meet you.
This guy over there, he's trying to take a piss. He's trying to take a piss and also take a picture of Trump by the the little portable potty. This just in, guys, another top Democrat has just decided to switch parties and endorse former President Donald Trump in the elections. Longtime former California Democratic leader Gloria Romero says that it's because that she just can't even recognize her own party anymore. Who are these Democrats? Check it out.
Who also made a big announcement today. All of a sudden, you've decided you are going to change parties. And I'm wondering, is it a sudden decision, long time coming? Gloria, what is it?
It's been a long time coming. I think really what really began for me as almost a lifelong Democrat was that initial botched withdrawal from Afghanistan really began to set the tone for me. This is a Democratic Party that I no longer recognize.
Come to think of it, a lot of Kamala Harris's staff quit on her allegedly because of her hostile and verbal abuse. Apparently, she's a very mean individual for many of her staffers and maybe even her fellow Democrats. She's got that RBF face, you know what I mean? So I really wouldn't be surprised if it was partly because of that Romero decided to go ahead and switch parties. But then again, a lot of controversy has been going around about the Democratic Party just in the last recent weeks. I mean, for one, there was Lisa Sun, former aide to the New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, who was charged for being an agent of the Chinese government. That's right, guys. I know. A Chinese spy right in the Democratic territory?
Federal prosecutors say a former deputy chief of staff to New York Governor Kathy Hochul has been charged with acting as an undisclosed agent of the Chinese government. Prosecutors say Linda's son blocked representatives of the Taiwanese government from having access to high-level officials in New York State at the request of Chinese officials. The indictment also alleges she shaped New York governmental messaging to align with the priorities of China, among other infractions. Hochul's office says Sun was fired in March of 2023 after discovering evidence of misconduct. Sun held numerous posts in New York state government before rising to the rank of Deputy Chief of Staff for Hochul. She also previously worked for former Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Then you got Vice President Kamala Harris as the last-minute replacement for the presidential candidate. According to former independent candidate RFK Jr., she can't even put a sentence together in English.
I don't think that Vice President Harris is a worthy president of this country. I think we need to have a president who can give an interview, who can articulate a vision, who can put together an English sentence, who can articulate her and defend her policies and her record, and who can engage in a debate and regular debates on unscripted appearances.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz also weighed in on this particular topic and said Kamala Harris is running a fundamentally dishonest campaign.
Here with reaction, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, Senator, you're feeling the brunt of this in Texas. You see what she's doing. She's running. She's hiding. She's trying to run out the clock. And now she says no tax on tips. And meanwhile, she was the tie-breaking vote that empowered the IRS to go after service workers. She said the border was secure. She said that inflation was transitory. Now she's going to, on day one, fix inflation, fix the border, and solve all our problems?
Well, look, Kamala is running a fundamentally dishonest campaign. You know, you referenced just there day one. Day one was 4 years ago. Part of what's fundamentally dishonest about the campaign is she's pretending that she's not the sitting vice president. She's pretending that Joe Biden is not currently the president of the United States, that these problems are all of her own making, that the inflation we have is because of the wild spending and debt that she and Joe Biden and the Democrats did. The open borders, she's been the border czar for 4 years. This invasion is her fault. Not only her fault, but she wanted it. Listen, I've served with Kamala for years in the Senate. She has consistently been the most left-wing senator. She's voted for open borders over and over and over again. And now, this entire election, she's trying to pretend her record doesn't exist. Sean, it's why she doesn't do media interviews. It's why she won't answer questions, because they are very cynically trying to hide her in the basement. I think it's Joe Biden's basement. Man, I wish I could hear Kamala Harris answer all these allegations, like in a real press conference or something, right? But as Senator Ted Cruz says, it looks like they're hiding in Joe Biden's basement. And like my uncle said, guys, time to end the dictatorship by voting for Trump Vance. I mean, even my friends from Canada have told me to go ahead and get Trump and please come save him. They say that if they stop him from being president again, all Canadians and Americans should stand together in order to stop communism and the agendas that they want to bring in. You know what I'm saying, guys? What do y'all think? But I gotta be honest with you guys, there's some things that are happening right now that I just can't share everywhere. And but I definitely want to get the information out to you guys. I want to get this information out to my true patriots and truth seekers. So what I did is I left the link for you guys down below. You can check it out. Just scroll down into the description down below, maybe even in a pinned comment. You'll see a link to my Patreon. Check out my Patreon. That way you can see what's really going on behind the scenes. I'm only making this available for a limited number of people, but if it's available when you click on the link, hopefully you can sign up. If not, well, like I said, limited time. I mean, it's no coincidence that even former Democrats have switched sides to endorse former President Donald Trump. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and now Gloria Romero, who served as the state Senate Majority Leader for 3 years of her more than 10-year stint in Sacramento, slammed the current state of her former party. In her words, I am now another near lifelong Democrat who's joining the growing number of people who are leaving the Democratic Party. Today, I joined the Republican Party to make America great again, and I'm ready to do my part as America prepares to vote. Wow, guys. Now, according to the newly converted politician, she could not stand by as Democrats took a giant leap toward authoritarianism and censorship. She talked about how terrifying it is to see language that has been modified so that as a feminist and a former professor, she would be condemned for saying that she can defend
define a woman and distinguish between biological sex and gender identity. She talked about being pro-choice, but not supporting a party that advocates for abortion to full term. She also said that the Republican Party has become the party of peace, while the Democrats have marched toward endless war. She also took aim at the green movement within the Democratic Party as she voiced her opposition to regulations on appliances. She said that as a Latina, she will not give up her gas stove. And I'm with her on that. No electric stove for me. She also added that you cannot toast a tortilla on an electric range. Duh. Romero said that she had been a delegate to the Democratic National Convention for both Jesse Jackson and Senator Barack Obama, and that many Latinos and Latinas are leaving the party for very similar reasons. And so this is why, standing on the steps of the state capitol in Sacramento, Romero proudly declared that she will vote for Donald Trump this fall. The Democratic Party has experienced blow after blow these past few weeks, as many former members have been declaring their alliances to former President Donald Trump. They're also getting battered by nonstop controversies. Just recently, it was brought up again how one of the prosecutors targeting Donald Trump has major connections to the Obamas. Now, I'm talking about no other than Special Counsel Jack Smith. Jack Smith is a career prosecutor who was appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland and is responsible for overseeing two pre-existing Justice Department criminal investigations into former President Donald Trump. One regarding Donald Trump's role in the January 6th Capitol attack, and the other into alleged mishandling of government records, including classified documents. Well, guys, it turns out Jack Smith is married to a documentary filmmaker who worked on a 2020 film about former First Lady Michelle Obama and donated to President Joe Biden's 2020 campaign. Katie Chavinji worked as a producer on Obama's film Becoming, while publicly available records from the Federal Election Commission show her previous campaign donations to the Biden campaign. And now her husband, Jack Smith, is in charge of prosecuting former President Donald Trump. Whatever happened to the separation of powers in the government? I mean, they're not even doing a good job of hiding their bias. You know what I mean, guys? Voice your comments down below, guys. Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Drop a quick yes or no down below. Hit the like button to show your support. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the latest in our country and the run up to the most important election of our lives. So we're not done yet, guys. Let's get back into this discussion. So another controversy in the Democratic Party right now, an actual Chinese spy in their ranks. Former senior aide to New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, Linda's son, was recently indicted for allegedly being an agent for the Chinese Communist Party. Representative Claudia Tenney wrote a letter to the Democratic governor asking about the damage son was able to do, like how she influenced the state government and the economy, as well as links to reported secret Chinese police stations operating in the Big Apple. Tenney mentioned how their allegations are deeply disturbing and call into question Kathy Hochul's judgment in hiring and listening to such an individual. From there, she urged the appointment of a bipartisan panel to investigate Kathy Hochul and her administration's actions and the full impact of Miss Sun's influence on the New York State government and economy. Sun and her husband, Chris Hu, were arrested recently in connection to a federal indictment unsealed in Eastern District of New York, accusing her of acting as an undisclosed agent of the Chinese government and wielding her influence as a deputy chief of staff in New York State's executive chamber of covertly promoting People's Republic of China and the CCP agendas. Prosecutors say the scheme, which allegedly also involved the laundering of millions of dollars for China and using kickbacks to buy themselves properties and luxury vehicles, directly threatened national security. And Governor Kathy Hochul just kind of like let all this happen right under her nose? Yeah, yikes. Possibly connected to that, Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris is accused of working with Mexico's president to encourage the flood of illegal immigrants into the United States in a bid to shift the U.S. farther and farther left on the political scale. The accusations coming no less than Texas Senator Ted Cruz. According to the good senator, Harris wants more illegal immigrants in America, and just about every single congressional Democrat in the state and the House want more illegal immigrants in America. And so this is why Cruz says that they are actively encouraging, facilitating, and accelerating the invasion at our southern border. He talked about how now the government of Mexico is actively aiding and assisting the human traffickers, that they will provide bus rides throughout Mexico, along with armed escorts from police and soldiers to bring illegal immigrants to the border to invade this country. And they're doing this because Kamala Harris wants them to do this. The end goal for Harris and the Democratic Party, boosting migrant numbers from more than 11 million to 20 million to 30 million to 40 million migrants in the United States. Because according to Senator Cruz, if that happens, Democrats win every election forever and ever and ever. Amen. Yeah. Now, I don't know, guys. This may be yet another way Democrats are trying to score votes for their nominees. Goodness knows they need them. RFK Jr. recently described Vice President Kamala Harris as an unworthy president that can't even put together an English sentence. She was in a recent interview where the former independent candidate said that he doesn't think that the vice president is a worthy president of this country because we need to have a president who can give an interview, who can articulate a vision, who can put together an English sentence, who can articulate her and defend her policies, and who can engage in a debate with and regular debates, unscripted appearances. I mean, he's definitely got a point here, guys. Kamala Harris has only sat down for one press interview with the very liberal CNN, no less. At the time of this interview, she hasn't had a press conference and has only agreed to one debate with former President Donald Trump in, again, a very liberal news network, ABC. She backed out of the Fox News town hall interview or slash debate just recently. I mean, maybe she's just really afraid of the real issues in her candidacy. Maybe it's that. Now, for one, there are the nonstop student protests that are destroying our college campuses. Republican vice presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance recently talked about it with Fox News' Laura Ingraham. He condemned pro-Palestinian protesters for turning college campuses into garbage dumps and then called demonstrators crazy. If elected, J.D. Vance said that he and former President Donald Trump will enforce the law. For the senator, nobody gets the right to harass their fellow students. Nobody gets a right to set up 10 encampments and turn their college campuses into garbage dumps. And nobody gets the right to block their fellow students from attending class. There's also the issue of Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who's now facing a subpoena from the House Education and Workforce Committee, subpoenaed for records related to a $250 million COVID-19 relief fund, this scheme that occurred on his watch. Now, these federal relief funds were supposed to be for federal child nutrition programs. Literally, $250 million was supposed to be feeding children. It was stolen from the government in what was one of the biggest COVID fraud schemes in the country. So instead of nourishing hungry children, the money funded lavish lifestyles, including fancy cars, real estate holdings as far away as Turkey and Kenya for the operators of a very fraudulent Minneapolis-based nonprofit Feeding Our Future. And guys, as it turns out, Tim Walz and his Department of Education, they're on the hook for this massive fraud scheme now. According to the June audit by the Minnesota legislature, MDE created opportunities for fraud and maintained inadequate oversight during the roughly 2-year period that it was shelling out the money. The department also failed to act on warning signs known to the department prior to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic and prior to the start of the alleged fraud by Feeding Our Future. Tim Walz himself admitted that he knew of this suspicious activity by the nonprofit as early as November 2020 when MDE first moved to halt the payments. But the governor allowed the payments to continue after Feeding Our Future sued the department for racial discrimination. Now, again, they made it a matter of race. Why am I not surprised? The records from Governor Walz are due by September 18th. By then, the election may have already been settled. So there you go, guys. A very problematic Democratic Party headed by the very troubled duo of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Honestly, guys, do you feel safe with these two on the ballot? Drop me a quick comment down below, guys. We'll make sure to keep an eye on this one for the next one. And if you want more hard-hitting content like this one, I got another video locked and loaded for you guys. It's about how Trump billionaire Vivek Ramaswamy tore into a CNN host for getting her facts all twisted and wrong about Kamala Harris. Now, I'm telling you guys, it is a takedown you do not want to miss. Just check it out, hit my channel, go to videos, check out that previous video. And as always, don't be a stranger, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next time.